Welcome to Guns and Gear, and the Guns and Gear household is doing a little camping, and you should see poor Major. He does not like the swinging bridge here. We're in Farmville, Virginia at a state park, Bear Creek Lake. Hey, turn him around, hon. Come on, Major. Come on, boys. Tank. That's a good boy, Tank. This poor little bridge probably hadn't seen that much. My wife was holding on to the side because, man, them dogs get going, they get to shaking that little bridge all to pieces.
Come on. Come on.
Tank is, what is he, 14 months old now? And he's starting to get some pretty good size to him, probably 150 plus pounds. And loves his mommy. Good boy, Tank.
That's hard.
That's a good boy, Tank.
I'm right here. Come on. Come on.
All right. And that's my wonderful family. Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. You know, recently my wife and I went on a little camping trip, and we took the dogs and just had a fine time, and I thought I would show you a few firearms that we took with us. The park we went to was a Virginia state park, Bear Creek Lake State Park. And just like every state park here in Virginia that we've been to, it's an outstanding park. It's very camper friendly, very clean, very well manicured and taken care of. You know, Virginia really does a very good job with their state parks and are often ranked amongst the best state parks in the nation, and upon occasion have even won citations for being the best state parks in the United States. So I can tell you that my wife and I has probably been to 8 or 9 state parks here in Virginia, and I would had to say that they really do a great job. At any rate, we knew going before we left that the park was going to be pretty busy, pretty crowded. It was going to be a nice, pretty weekend. It had been booked up. There was no extra slots there because we wanted to see about maybe choosing a particular campsite, which it's on a first come, first served basis at that park. So we weren't able to do that, but the ranger did tell us that you might want to come early because it is booked. So when it comes to choosing handguns to carry with us for such a park, you know, we kind of think of a few things. And first and foremost, when you're at a state park that's going to have a lot of people, and a lot of people bring their pets, you know, there was a lot of dogs there. You're not going to see much wildlife. Wildlife is really not the main concern there. So basic defense and choices that you would make for defense is always a good idea. Now, I also knew that I wanted to check out some property around the state park that is open for hunting. And so there, roads less traveled, trails less walked, there may be an opportunity to run into something that you may need to defend yourself against. So with that in mind, that's what was on our mind when we made our choices. I shouldn't say we, because my wife always seems to pick the same firearm, and that's this Ruger SP101 in 357 Magnum, and it has a 3-inch barrel. Ever since me and my wife started dating and I started taking her shooting with me, she really likes this little handgun. She likes it because of the weight, especially when you're shooting those 357 Magnum rounds. She's just always really liked this firearm, and she always chooses this gun when we go camping. Now, she doesn't really like to carry this firearm on a daily basis because of the weight. It is quite a chunky, heavy gun for its size. Even though that weight is nice when you're shooting 357 Magnum ammo, it's still quite a load to to be in a purse or on a holster on her side, when whichever method of carry she chooses. But out in the field, she doesn't mind carrying this at all. Now, loaded up in the firearm, she had some this ammunition right here. This is from Double Tap. It's a 200 grain hard cast lead bullet. Now, I know we said that critters were probably secondary, but you always prepare for the hardest thing to stop, right? And that would be something that, like a I don't know, a feral hog or maybe a black bear. And when thinking of a defensive round for such a purpose, or even a hunting round for that purpose, penetration is key. And the 200 grain hard cast lead bullet is just about the biggest bullet that you could fit in the cylinder of a .357 Magnum, and it does boast quite a bit of penetration. So that's what she decided to carry. And for the rest of the ammunition was one of my favorites, and that is the Winchester Silver Tip. It is a great all-purpose round for the .357 Magnum, and that's what she had with her. Now, I, on the other hand, carried a 1911, and this one is a Smith & Wesson 1911. It's their E series. Outstanding handgun. This, by the way, is a commander size, and it is a true commander size with a 4 1/4 barrel and shortened slide there. It's outstanding shooting gun. Has a little Ed Brown cut out right here at the bottom on the mainspring housing, and I find that it's a rather easy gun to conceal. And 45 ACP, where it's not my favorite choice as a field cartridge, it can be adequate. The ammunition that I carried is some ammunition that I do have a little bit of confidence in, and that's this DPX round from Corbon. And the reason I say that is some years back, I was hunting with a bow. It was it wasn't in archery season, it was in rifle season, but I was still enjoying hunting with my bow, and I made a good shot on a bear, but just as soon as that arrow passed through him, he instinctively just turned around, bolted straight towards me and up the tree that I was in. And I was carrying a handgun for personal protection, concealed, and it was a 1911. And I took that 1911 and with one round of this DPX from Corbon, pretty much ended that story. Now, I think it was Ron White who was talking about bouncers in a bar one time. He said he didn't know how many of them it was going to take, but he knew how many of them they were willing to use. I felt the same way. You know, if he hadn't started falling from that first shot, I was willing to send quite a few more downrange. But as the story ends, he's dead, I ate him, end of story. So at any rate, those were the two guns that we carried. We had a great time at the park. It was the first time that I had a chance to get out in the woods since kind of being sick with the Lyme disease. So it felt good to get out in the woods. It was a beautiful weekend, and I appreciate you watching my videos. So with that, shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.